This meeting of the Town of Santa Claus Water Board for July 8th, 2025 to order.
Roll call, Steve Library.
Here.
Matt Williams.
Here.
Scott Elliott.
Here.
Teresa Hartwig. Tony Perkins.
Here.
Also present, Chris Flynn and Jay Muncy.
All right. First item on the agenda is the approval from the June 6th meeting. You were sent copies of that in advance.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of our June meeting. I'll second that.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Comments from the public? No comments. The only thing I'll say is we are, I guess, streaming on YouTube is the way to put that, for the first time tonight, so just so you're aware of that. Next item of business is the transfer of funds from the general operating fund to the capital fund per our budget for this year. And you have at your place resolution 2025-03, where we're transferring $325,000 from our general fund to the capital projects fund, which we will use for, in this case, the Mariah Hill line going towards Mariah Hill. Did you find it?
Yep.
All right. Looks like that. And this is what we had in our budget. I'll need a motion to approve resolution 2025-03.
I'll move to approve resolution 2025-03.
I'll second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Send everybody your operational reports. We did get an update on our cash balance for June, which originally wasn't in your packet. Yeah, it's in your packet. It's $818,789. So that fund continues to grow. Of course, we're getting ready to take $325,000 out of it, but then it'll grow back, as the year goes on, as it always does. Water plant continues to hum along. We're still making more water than we did last year, but the good thing is it's coming out of our plant. We are actually under per day what we're buying from Patoka. So, since the biggest cost for our water department is the fixed cost. If you look at Chris's report, I messaged him. I mean, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row, over 1 million gallons a day, over 1.2 million, I think, and humming along. I mean, tons of excess capacity there. So.
2 days that had to be 24 hours, 58 minutes.
Yeah.
You do the math, it's almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't look, Jane. I guess you're reconciled through May,
Yes, and we just received new statements.
so you're working on those.
We'll be
Yeah.
getting those balance.
Okay. And transfers are done through May.
Transfers are done through May as well.
Okay. Next item up, just kind of to close this project out, is the Patoka Pit relocation and line takeover. I did not provide you with a copy of the signed agreement, but it has been signed. If you remember.
There were no changes from.
Yeah, there were no changes from what you had seen. Town of Santa Claus signed it and Patoka returned it one day last week. So we have it back. Everybody's got copies and the world is good now. So we officially own it. And Chris did get his little corner fixed that had some rock dump on it, so that's done. The only thing I had on here, Chris, was you were still having communication issues and we're gonna raise the antenna.
Did that, we think we're gonna put a little amplifier down there, so.
Okay,
But I'm gonna try, I'm gonna have Jeff go over the because the communication problem is not affecting any production, so
yeah,
I'm hoping we can put that delay a little longer. Right now it's at 800 seconds. I think I can go up to 1200 seconds.
okay.
I wanna see if that works first, because now, so in the past month and everything, we found out, last month we weren't getting page down.
Uh-huh.
We had a problem, so had Yoke in there, had everybody there, and we finally figured out, Jeff had found where AT&T had stopped doing text to message.
Oh,
So it would show up on the computer, it just wouldn't text it to us.
ah,
So we changed that to Gmail account, so
okay,
now the phones are receiving the alarms again, so.
okay. Well, I think,
Can't get a smartphone, so for the,
well, there you go. Should have had one already. As far as I'm concerned, then I'm gonna take this off and consider it complete. The antenna and the boosters, those are operational issues. You guys take care of those anyway, so. The other, next item is kind of the same kind of thing. Last month was I get my water bills emailed, so I don't get a bill. The new format, did it
New
go?
format is working well.
Okay,
We had just a couple, things we needed to change as far as, matching up people's addresses exactly. We caught most of them before the bills went out. There were, two people that, one had one account with a spouse on and the other one didn't. So we combined those. It went well the first month, excellent. We've got excellent feedback from the community. They love it. Multiple people have contacted us and said that how they
Yeah.
really appreciate the improvement, and they like being able to see the graph on there for their whole year's usage.
Sure.
And additional information, so the feedback's been great. The girls have loaded the second billing today, so they should go in the mail, so.
okay.
Yeah, and everything's going well, so it's, the first month was a huge success. We were worried there might be more glitches in the
Yeah.
summer, so we had very.
That's why we left it on here. It was like,
Very few minor things that we got.
the first month and second month might have been a big gap, huh?
Yeah, the first month I was a little nervous just because you don't know, Dolly doing pretty good, getting things caught, but, we did have to make just a couple of little minor adjustments, but overall it's been a very positive experience, so.
Okay, well, same deal. I'm gonna call that project complete.
And people got their bills right away.
Yeah,
I mean, they were mailed on the 10th, and people were already bringing payments in, had received them like the next day or 2 days later,
Oh,
so.
okay.
Big improvement on the timing too.
All right, well, good, good. So we'll check that one off. The GIS system, we talked a little bit about this in the last meeting, and this is one that's gonna hang around for a while. Really, at this point, we've kind of figured out that budgets, which are gonna be sneaking up on us next month, probably about a $10,000 impact. Probably what needs to happen next is me and Chris and Russ need to sit down and have a little planning session and kind of talk about how this is gonna proceed and where we're headed with it, and then bring that back to the board for discussion, so. That's probably the next thing we need to do, and that discussion will lead to helping refine that, budget number. As I said in the last meeting, we're gonna be doing budgets before you know it, you know? So, we'll try to get some i's dotted and t's crossed and get some hard numbers and have them in here for, I guess, we'll need them October. We'll need some good hard numbers, and contracts will need to be written for maintaining it and stuff like that. So try to get all that together, and by the time we finalize the budget, have that finalized. The 1-year inspection on the tank, the warranty repairs, I'm gonna leave those on there until they're done. We get it scheduled, and then we get we approve the repairs. The Holiday World, Holiday Village connector line, the EDA closeout. I've seen some stuff going back and forth.
So the only thing we're waiting on now is the, cancel check showing that it was cashed by
Okay.
Copper Ridge for the last one. We're waiting for that to come through. Once Jessica has that, that's gonna be the end of that. So
Okay,
that's
did you get
fine.
your 3 letters and everything from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so I did hunt down the contact information, 2 of those people that had previously signed are no longer with those companies.
Yeah.
And like Rudolph is now Sun
Uh-huh.
Properties, Sun Resorts.
Yeah.
Sun outdoors.
Yeah.
Sun Outdoors. And so a couple things had changed.
Uh-huh.
New contacts, new names.
Yeah.
And so I got all that information to Jessica, the new contacts and
Mhm.
everything. So she's contacting them to get that closed out. And then with the resolution being signed, we're gonna do that final transfer for the town's part now.
Okay,
Once we transfer the 325, we'll pull what we need to for the town's part to get our.
yeah, they
balance
haven't,
as well.
they won't send us that, was it
After
100?
she gets that canceled check, yeah.
She'll send us that
as
100,
well.
yeah, that 100 and
Yeah.
whatever it is, I forget the number, but,
Yeah, so
because that'll go into the EDA account, and then the remaining 400 and some thousand, or right at 400,000, will come out of the capital account.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead after we do this 325 transfer that you approved, we'll go ahead and leave the amount that the EDA is gonna do, and I'll go ahead and transfer.
And then when the EDA comes in, it'll zero it out, so.
Yeah. That's the
Um,
plan.
so-
So it's all coming to a close.
It's getting there. So, and that is, if you look at that cash sheet that we were looking at earlier, that has the EDA line, if you look down there, it's still got brackets around it. It's had brackets around it all along. And so it's gonna get another,
Reimbursement, so we spend and then
Yeah.
have to transfer everything over, and then they write us a check, and so it's always kind of looks like it's in the negative, because we're spending out before we get reimbursed for it, yeah.
but, and like if we wrote a $100,000 check to pay something, they only reimbursed us 90,000. They kept 10%, and that money's not released till the end. So that's the last check we're waiting on. So, but maybe by next meeting we might have it all closed out. If not, definitely by September.
Yeah, definitely, hopefully by next meeting.
Sure. Mariah Hill line, the easements and surveys, the legal descriptions and the easements are done. We have a list of the property owners. I assume you guys are gonna take care of contacting them, or,
I tried to make time for Paul today, but by the time I IDM all to get done and everything,
yeah,
I emailed him some numbers, or some phone numbers, so if he wanted to get started, he could.
yeah.
I plan on contacting him tomorrow. So.
Okay. And again, this is the same group of people that Chris has already met with. It's just formalizing the documents and everything. Kevin turned those around pretty quick, so we'll get that done and we'll move on down the road with engineering drawings and those things. Okay? Well, we haven't had any payments, I guess, as far as the county tracking, and nothing really new there, is there? Okay. Chris, so I don't get too far out of my element here. The next thing we have, if you recall at the last meeting, as a matter of fact, in the packet I sent you, I included the sample ordinance. You have at your place our ordinance, which will be signed by the town. I didn't include it because it just got done a little bit ago, and I wasn't sure that this would even get done before then. But this is an ordinance. It was prepared by our attorney. It'll actually be signed by the town. And it has to do with cross-connection contamination. And this is just one of the many steps in that process. But this is one of the steps that you need to take. Chris, do you want to comment on this ordinance of what it does or doesn't do, or, other than make IDM happy? So,
That's what got this started, but I mean, as far as cross-contamination, I mean, it is a big deal, especially when it comes to sprinkler meters and things like that, so that's, you know, in almost any, like, sun outdoors, they have cross-connection, you know, which has gotta be tested annually, so I get test papers from them, the clinic's got it, I think there's 4 in town that already has it. The Lord One's got one, it's
Yeah.
getting tested every year, so it's been a long time coming. I mean, I'm glad I'm gonna have to change some things, so, but,
I mean, it's basically a backflow valve, right?
it is so that nothing downstream or after the connection can get back to the water main.
Well, and I think the yard meter is an excellent example. They
Yes.
water in the yard, it's got fertilizers and everything in it. The line gets compromised and it could run back into ours, so you would have it on those meters.
There's a lot of ways it can get.
Yeah.
So, it's been proven, I mean,
Yeah.
somebody fell on a radiator off their house.
Yeah.
Rain dust downstream, sucked everything out. Radiator put glycol in the.
Yeah.
So.
So what we need, I'm not gonna read through this all, but if you have any questions on it.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is pretty much a boilerplate ordinance. Again, we simply need a motion to recommend that the town sign this. This is a town ordinance, okay? So they will sign it.
They don't have, they haven't assigned a name to it though yet.
No,
I just don't see, happen or have didn't put a number on there, but it is gonna, it would, I believe it's gonna be 2025-05.
I think we'll be, yeah.
So this sample one here,
That was just a sample one that Russ had from Gentryville.
right, so
And-
it's basically gonna mimic this.
Basically did, yes. But what,
You have a copy of the ordinance.
You have the new one.
Actual ordinance.
yeah, you have the actual new ordinance also.
This will be etched in stone.
Yeah.
We've got
Still truces.
this regulations.
All right, there you go.
And she wrote that up today. So, we have 30 days to respond.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we advise the town to sign the cross-connection ordinance that's proposed in front of us here today.
A second.
Any further questions on it? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, but once it gets signatures, all I have to do is send that to them.
Nothing new on fire hydrant rehab other than our ongoing efforts. Lead testing. Chris is spending money. You want to update everybody?
So, 120 Water is the company that has been helping us with our service line inventory slash, I don't know if you guys have looked at that QR code, which is coming to you all again soon. So, but anyhow, if you actually just click on that QR code, it'll show you what we're doing. It'll show everybody's, if it's unknown, if it has a question mark on it, that means it's unknown. If it's been, you can click on it and see that we've already entered it in. I think Paul said we're at 30-40% in this new contract, and with this new billing of 120, just IDM to sign off on it, that QR code in just that one paragraph won't cost us anything.
Right.
So that'll
Yeah.
save us some money there.
You know, in new billing, we have that bigger section.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't have on the little bill card.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's talking about is instead of sending out an additional mailing, paying all that additional postage, we'll be able to add that QR code into the already existing water bill.
Oh, okay.
So that'll save
Yeah.
some additional funds.
Oh, definitely, and
Yeah.
but even if it doesn't, we'll still be able to
Add a page.
we'll still have, so what happened with the first time that we did these letters? So they combined all of our 911 addresses, we sent everything to them, but what ended up happening is they sent it to every address that was on there, which over half of them were just a blank lot.
Yeah.
Service line there, no house. So I ended up getting 6 totes
Mhm.
of letters back, you know, so
Yeah.
then it comes to the part to where, when times allow, Paul and I get in the computer, punch in the ones that we know, the ones that we know that are unknown, and those are the ones, this is where now, 120 will help us get in there and get everything caught up. Sooner or later, we're gonna start digging yards, I mean, we'll
Yeah,
have to physically.
Yeah.
dig
And
the stuff out.
you signed a contract with 120. Does that start next year, or is that the end of this? Starts, I wasn't sure what,
Starts this month. So
okay, I
that's why
I read it, but I couldn't, I was like, well, was that an annual that we
July
just?
to July.
Okay, July to July.
Yeah, so.
And it was in our budget, of
We knew it
$12,000.
was coming, so,
Yeah, and the contract was 10, so saved a little money. Yeah. So,
But the will, like I said, the guy that's with 120 water helping us now, I mean, we was on the phone with him for an hour. We got a ton done in that 1 hour.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine what we'll do with the information that we've already got there.
yeah,
And I think one more set of letters will get us far enough into,
Yeah.
we gotta have this completely done by 27.
yeah,
Everything's gotta be done, so.
okay. Anything else that you need to bring up before we move on?
No, I talked to that transducer went out on the big water tower, so that was part of some of the problems that I was having with. And I thought that had a lot to do with communication, but it did not.
Yeah. Just makes another day in the fun days of running a water department, huh?
Yeah, it just brings back the old days,
Yeah.
not having any communication, so, but
Hey,
we got there.
there was water running out of the top of the tower, it was full.
We definitely had full water towers, so.
There you go. All right, next up I have vouchers.
Yep, I have, 2 vouchers that total $118,442.09. Do you want to approve them separately, or?
Is that the total for both?
That's the total for both.
Yeah, we can do them as one if you're okay with that. What was it, 118?
$118,442.09.
I'll make a motion to approve the voucher for $118,442.09.
I said.
Any questions on that? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approved.
So that QR code will be on our bill, on our,
Trying to get that, one way or the other, it will come with one of the bills. We can't.
I looked for it last time, but I didn't see it.
Well, we just.
The last time it was a separate mailing, and I think the problem is that sometimes people just open that stuff and pitch it and think it's junk mail and it's coming separate. I think if we can put it on the water bill, I think that would be
That's
more
what-
impactful, because
Yeah.
people are getting the water bill out and actually looking at them and reading them, so they'll be able to see that they need to do that with that QR code right there in front of them on the water bill. I think that would be
Make it
a
stack down
better
here.
way.
Oh,
I
it's,
think more people would not just open it and set it aside that way.
I think it'll help you.
We'll see if we can get that approved. No, it'll be a separate mail, like it was last time.
Well, at least now we'll have better, a little more exactly where it is. So
Mhm.
there won't be no more of those empty lots.
I know,
So that's,
that would be the other benefit, if they go to the actual billing.
when I've got, you know, from the first round that we did this, I've got 2 pages.
I was like, don't tell me it's not.
Gonna change your name?
Let 'em have it.
Trying to keep you guys on your toes. I think the signatures in
It
your
worked.
like a little game, are you paying attention?
Tony-
Yeah.
Tony's down there signing my spot.
Yeah, yeah. Tony's down there changing his name.
Getting more, we're gonna stand.
All right. She even sent you a folder to put them in.
Quick one,
Yep.
move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
6:33.
That's what we like.